So before we see in the electrical linear and rack motors in the skylights, so now let's see in the lowers how it's with the lowers windows. You can see here by this pneumatic electric motor, it can goes down and the actuate the all the lowers. So now let's see the other options for the automatic system in UCS. This is the electric system that is called the CRM, meteorological control panel, and it's connected with the different parts like alarms and motors, switches and rest others component for the building. The meteorological control panel control up to the 4 actuators or a group of actuators independently, allowing the automatic closing of the window in case of rain or wind alarm condition detected by the sensors or by the invention of the thermostats. Now we will see the other applications of actuator in different windows. So here is a parallel window. So here you can see this the chain actuator, how it's working in the parallel windows. In the facade windows and big structure, it's work very frequently. For the residential building also, it's very influenced. Now see the other components of the UCS. UCS, the BmS line programmable chain actuators. New generation of chain actuator equipped by a smart electric board, allowing the installer to get the features according to the installation requirements. Moreover, the actuator can be easily integrated in a building management system through a gateway in order to set the features according to the requirements of the user at any time via BUCS communications line. So here is the three types: natural ventilation, BmS line and smoke evacuation, in which we already seen the natural ventilations. Now let's see the modified features and the sensors. Setting parameters, programmable features and scenarios. Setting parameters is when ordering, before or during installation, at any time via Modbus RTU, from anywhere in the world via web. So you will for the installation of the BmS line, you can get the all setting parameters through this modes. The programmable features are the stroke, speeds, force, the real close position at the windows, percentage of the openings. So UCS provide these features to the BmS lines products, that stroke, speeds and force. By you can distinguish these due to these parameters according to your window. Reduction of the intra-performance risk, speed synchronization for the multiple actuator on the same window, soft closing of the window, quiet operation in the case of ventilation, and full speeds and force for smoke and heat extraction. Local control of the window when with the centralized management systems. BmS line actuators. Setting parameter before or during the installation on the sites. For natural ventilation, eventually with local switches and being synchronized with the other actuator, not contentable to BmS communication line. Advanced is that setting parameters before, during or after the installation on site and being implemented in BmS. For natural ventilation and also for the emergency smoke ventilation, eventually with the local switches or being synchronized with the other actuators. Now let's see some characteristics of the BmS line, in which way quasar need power supply is the 24 volt direct current, and maximum stroke is the 500 mm, and the maximum force is the 300 Newton. It is applicable in natural ventilation and the smoke evacuation, and the advanced version is the applicable in three types: natural ventilation, BmS line, and the smoke evacuations. The other model in the BmS line is the Vega, that required the power supply 24 degree volt direct current. Maximum stroke is the 300 mm, and the maximum force he required is 300 Newton. It's available in the pulse version in the natural ventilation, and the advanced version is applicable in the natural ventilation and for the BmS line. The quasar has required the power supply 24 volt direct current. The maximum stroke is started from the 600 mm and up to the 1000 mm. The maximum force is 300 Newton, and the characteristics is only on the request. Means if you want the natural ventilation, they can provide you quasar, and BmS line and the smoke evacuation is also they can give you on your request. Twin quasar is also required the power supply of 24 volt direct currents. Maximum stroke is the 500 mm, and the maximum force required for is the 600 newtons. Twins Vega is the required power supply of the 12 to 24 volt direct current, and maximum stroke is the 300 mm, and the maximum force is the 600 Newton. It's also at your own request. Here you can see the whole data chart, how it will be, how much volt tolerance we can give, and the quasar how much advance. So Vega before how much we need to give, and advanced how much you can get it. Access for the setups, so plus socket on the sides. Now in advanced, removable cover is also there. In Vega, socket on the sides, and the Vega plus capable. So in the Pulse and Plus and the advantage is little bit different, because they given the advanced version to you, enhance the features of the UCS. How to set these parameters? Now let's see how to set this BmS line parameters. This is the power supply, the main area where you need to install this, and these quasar will connect with this both line, and this both line will be connect to the BmS line.